The rich get richer because they know this one thing about money. And that is, we don't trade time for money. We have money work hard for us. Now, if you look at how we were brought up, we go to school, get a job, and then we get paid an hourly rate. And that's how they think. But people who are wealthy, they don't think about getting paid per hour. They think by getting paid per year. So it's not how much money you make today. This is why you look at the employee mindset versus the wealthy mindset. The employee mindset is, I just want to make enough money for now. And they're always locked in fear. Whereas if you are thinking how much you get paid in a year, you're thinking about, okay, all these things that I'm doing right now, what does it take to actually create that revenue for the year? So don't think about how much you make per hour, because it's limited. If you think, well, I only make £10 an hour, £20 an hour, $30 an hour, whatever it is, then it's limited. Whereas you think in a year, well, what if I want to make 200,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year? Your mind starts to think differently. It doesn't start thinking about how much you make in an hour. It thinks about how much you make in a day, in a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and in a year. So that's why, people who are wealthy, they think like that. They don't get stuck in scarcity. They don't get stuck in thinking about hourly rate. They think about yearly rate. They also use assets, automation, and scalable income to grow their assets. So if I say to you right now, well, what can create more scale? And what creates scale is something that you're not involved in all the time. For example, let's say you're a salesperson and you're always doing the sales calls. Well, you could actually get conversational AI to create that thing for you, right? So for example, you could put all your calls into an AI. That AI can then, when people call it, it can do all the selling for you. It can tell about the products, the services, the features, the benefits, the pricing, the objections. It's got all of that stuff there. That stuff already exists and you can already do it. That's one way of automation for business, for example. Another thing is using assets. Right? So remember, income producing assets. What is an asset that you put your money into? So for example, I put my money into real estate, into businesses, into digital currencies, into other people's businesses. You see, the biggest thing you want to think about, so for all the money that you earn, right? Most people, when they make money, they spend it straight away, but you don't want to do that. The money that you make, you want to see, what can I put it into that's going to scale and grow? So for example, instead of spending 20, 30,000 on a car, what if you were to put that into the stock price of that company? For example, if you bought a Tesla for 80,000, but you put the same 80,000 to Tesla, this was going back 5 or 10 years ago, how much would that 80,000 be worth? Same with Apple products. You buy these Apple products, how much you spend on Apple products over the last, decade. Now look at the share price. I tell you this because we want to get to a position where we're always doing things that can produce an asset. We put our money into it. Another big asset, I put my money into my brain. The more I consume, the more I train on this, the more I know about blockchain, the more I know about artificial intelligence, AI agents, AI organizations, fully making all these fully autonomous. This becomes the next level when we're learning things. So when we upgrade our brain, we upgrade our income. That's very simple. See, in order for things to change, you need to change. In order for you to get better, if you want better things in your life, then you got to get better. Another thing that wealthy people know is that while people work really hard for money, they're wealthy, they are doing smart things with money. When people say, if you work really hard, you make money. How many of you watching this right now, you work really, really hard? And you work really, really hard, but are you at the level you are right now? Probably not. So this is why it's so important to be able to always be focusing on the things that you want and find systems to replace the gap of execution. See, everything is all about ideas now, but ideas are 10 a penny. It's the execution that counts, but here's the good news. AI can do the execution for you now. And that's why there's lots of, for example, you want to build your own app, you go to lovable.dev, and now you can create and program your own app. You look at all the big LLMs now, of course, the big DeepSeek, for example, is cheaper, people say it's too expensive. But, well, no, there's a lot of cheaper models out there right now. The whole point of this is that you understand that there is another level. You understand there's another level, and we're not working hard for money. We want to work smart hard. And you've heard me say this in the past. So what is smart hard? You figure out what gets the leverage and then you double down on it. Let me give you an example. I create a lot of content on social media. And I'm going to still continue to do it because that's what I love to do. But let's say I didn't want to do it for whatever reason. Then what I can do is I can avatar myself. I can put it into a software called Captions.ai, for example. And then I can create lots of different versions of my AI. And then I can have my team build a script and then create content for me. How cool is that? So I don't ever have to create the content should I choose. I don't want to, but I like doing it because I want to give you the freshest stuff and the things that are happening, and I just enjoy doing it. And this is, like, it's part of my legacy for leaving behind for the people to learn these things when things go crazy. So working smart and working hard, working smart hard is the thing you want to double down on. So now it becomes an extension. When people say AI is going to take over people's jobs, no, AI is an expansion of people's jobs. Is it going to replace me as a creator? No, because I'm still doing creating. And then I can have my AI versions of me do it as well. Another thing that wealthy people do is they know how to multiply their money. Because if you don't know how to multiply your money, you're going to stay stuck. So then how do you multiply it? For example, one thing I do is something called a DCA. In fact, we talk about this, Shankar, who's incredible. He actually runs Crypto Alliance. You should check him out. But one of the things that you want to focus on is creating something where you can sustainably grow. Like, people always go, John, like, how do I get into crypto market? If it's going to go up or down? One of the things that Shank talks about is this concept of what we call DCA, which is dollar cost average. And when you dollar cost average into things, people say, well, John, if I have 100,000 and I'd say put that into Bitcoin, for example, what would happen from that? Well, you don't want to do that. You want to take that 100,000, divide it over 365 days, and then drip it every day. Because what happens, and you've seen it, the market goes like this, and it goes like this. It goes up, down, and it also goes sideways. But when you do it every single day, you're catching the ups, you're catching the downs, but overall the trend is like this. So imagine if you did that over the last 10 years with, say, Bitcoin. Again, this is why you need to check out Crypto Alliance, because they've got some incredible content and strategies where you can learn all these things as well. I mean, the choice is really simple. You follow their blueprint, or you stay stuck financially forever. And this is the thing, a lot of people are not willing to change. They're not willing to test things out. One thing I believe is that if you just say yes to things, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, a lot of people say, John, you should say no to things, but say yes to the things that you're aligned to. Meaning, what does your body, mind, and spirit say? The reason why a lot of wealthy people are wealthy is because they're aligned. And the people who are not wealthy, they have misalignment. For example, the mind will go, I want to get rich, but the body won't put in the work to do that. And then their soul is like, well, rich people, jerks, for example. That's what their mindset might say. Whereas now, if you're like, okay, well, my mindset is, yeah, you want to get rich, but your body, yeah, you put in the work, you put in the action, and your spirit is, you know what, rich people and wealthy people, they make a massive impact to the world. It's different alignment, different values. And this is why most people stay stuck, because they're in that space of not really knowing. And that's why when you look at why wealthy people get wealthy, these are some of the most powerful things that you can really start implementing for yourself. And by the way, if any of you love to grow your income, then you can check the link below. And we're actually running a lot of live events around the world. A lot of you ask me, John, do you have a book? We also have a book coming out as well. So if you click that, you can get on the waiting list for that as well. But yeah, if you love to join me, if you want more information on things that I do, click the link below, check out some of the things that we have going. And I'd love to see you, and maybe face-to-face at one of our live events. And also, if you like this channel, give it a like and subscribe. Leave any questions you have for me below when it comes to building wealth. And also check out this video here, because it's going to teach you a lot of the strategies on how do we grow, how do we scale, how do we monetize. I'll see you then.